Doctor and Call comes to you compliments Hills and Valley Pharmacy and the Spice Isle Imaging Center. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our final Doctor on Call program for 2023. That is the final live program for 2023. 2023 was indeed a good year, and I do believe many people can attest to that. Of course, there are challenges. There will always be challenges, but the best part of challenges is when you can rise to the occasion and overcome, and learn the lessons and use them to help you to be a better person in one way or the other. It's a pleasure, to have been, carrying the program myself and Dr. Nixon. I could not have done it without her. Of course, all the other guests we've had, we really do appreciate them taking the time off to be on the program with us. And so we trust that you, our viewers and listeners, in some way or the other, what we shared may have touched you in some way, helping you to be a little better than you were in 2022. So tonight we are doing a bit of reflection, and we're also going to look a little bit about Christmas and your health, because although it is the most wonderful time of the year, if you don't manage that well, like everything else, it could possibly land you in a little bit of problems, in different ways, financial, and of course health, and many other ways, So we have to manage well. So folks, it's a pleasure to welcome you again, our viewers on GBN TV, our friends on our Facebook page and YouTube channel who've been very loyal, always with us. It's such a pleasure whenever I open, our Facebook page and you see the names popping up night after night, and not just Doctor and Call, but all the other programs of the network. It's really a pleasure. And I do trust that at any time you folks are visiting Grenada, please find the time to stop by and say hello. We'd love to meet you and greet you. All right. So it's a good time to welcome Doc. Doc, good evening and welcome. It's a pleasure again as always.
Well, I'm always happy, okay? But it's a pleasure to be with our friends here in Grenada and those in the diaspora. And I want to share something with you before you get too far. Dr. Matthias has been with us in the program, Dwight Matthias, who's an endocrinologist. He's a diabetes specialist. That's what he loves. And he mentioned that after being with us during Diabetes Awareness Month, he had 5 calls from people in the US, because he's based in Virginia.
Fantastic.
And he had 5 calls, including one family who offered a gift. What would you like? And he's managed to secure an insulin, I think it's glucose monitoring, continuous monitoring for a person with type 1, that is juvenile diabetes. So I guess it has its benefit, and they say the reward for good work is more work. So
yes, yeah. Well, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to hear that. I'm thrilled.
Yes. And if we reach one person at a time, we soon have a basket full of people.
Oh yeah.
So I also want to thank the people who assault me in the street in the most wonderful way.
Yes.
I went to cricket and a man said, Doctor on call, right? No, Doctor on call.
Yes, you get it.
And then I had to pretend I was a nice, decent girl. hi, good afternoon, you know. But it was funny. So these days I need to behave on the street. But it has been a fulfilling year, I think, and I hope more people than I think have taken the one action to learn into their lives. Many of the people who assault me on the street, and I mean assault in a really good way, they don't it. I would say, and I ask, how has it been? And they say, I have learned something. Do you put this into your life? Yes, my family's life has changed. So we're up to making changes, transformations in people's lives in relation to their health. We all have to come out as winners in relation to this. And sometimes a little more difficult. Sometimes the program mightn't be as hot as you want it, but we always come with the information that you require. Because the objective of this program is to empower people, to make them
share information
in charge of their lives, to open their eyes to the options and to making good options. I'm sorry, tonight my allergies are killing me. But this is what we do so that we can make sure that we all get to at least 70 years old. That is what was promised, and that is what the World Health Organization and Jesus say is a full life.
Yes. And of course, based on our daily life years, we should get our expectancy in Grenada is 71 and a half, which is a little more than what Jesus gave. So we're thankful for that. We're thankful, and we're blessed. We're blessed.
Driving fast, and like I see one guy today where the river came down. And he jumped on what looked like a surfboard into the river, into the brown water. Girls don't do that foolishness, okay?
No, they don't.
Boys always have a reason to jump towards their death. I guess nothing happened because I haven't heard, but don't do those dangerous things. You don't know. Raging water has no conscience. So please be very careful.
You don't even know what's in there.
Exactly.
You know,
and it's the things that people tend to scorn on an everyday basis, and they jump into a basin of raging water. You do not know where the big stone is here. You do not know where the serpent that get let loose and get scared when you bounce them up. You do not know where anything is in that water, and you don't know where the water really stops and you can get off.
That's it.
So be very careful. Let's not be foolish.
That's right.
We all want to see Christmas 2026.
Oh, I want to see lots more Christmases to come. I love Christmas. I love Christmas that much. I
don't like Christmas.
It's a wonderful feeling.
And I tell you already what made me not like Christmas and that.
Yeah, I know.
Early,
I really love the season. I love the feeling, and it's just so wonderful. But Doc, 2023, as we reflect, we've been here every Tuesday evening at around this time,
almost
chatting with people and sharing with people. I can go back a little further and recall the days of COVID-19 when even some people on a virtual program will have their mask on, and we've sort of moved on a bit from that, although it doesn't hurt to wear your mask because not just COVID, there are other things in the atmosphere, but we've moved on from that. And as I said earlier, the challenges are always there, but when you reflect January 2023 to where we are now, I'm sure we can think about a number of things that went very well for us. And I like to be positive. Sometimes we tend to give thanks for what we have and focus a little too much on what we want. And all the beautiful things are before us for us to enjoy, and we forget that.
And it's funny that you say that because I was talking to some people who work in my environment and asked me if I'd gone to that new place, the new supermarket, which I have no doubt is exciting, but I'm not a shopaholic, so it doesn't really matter. And I said, why should I? And she said to me, because everything is there. They have everything. And I said to her, I do not need everything.
Yes, that's right.
And I really don't want everything. So making choices is a very important part of your life, and you have to make sure that your choice gives you the option to have a better life. That your choice gives you the option to live in control. I'm not going in grand hands because I want to get stressed. Okay? I don't like being on the road. I don't like shopping. Tell me where I'm going to go to look, and I don't need to have everything. So that's counterintuitive. If you can handle the stress right, and handle the traffic and all the rest, that's fine. But I want to remind people that when Christmas is over, January is 3 months. It's long and we broke. And we have a lot of demands because our kids go back to school by the second week. We still need to pay our mortgages. We still need to pay our car upkeep. We still need to pay our housekeeper. We still need to pay school fees for those of us whose kids are in primary school. We still have to pay for gas. And even if we got a little respite on the cost of gas this week, it's a thing that fluctuates. So
it doesn't remain one way. Mm-hmm.
The cost of petrol may go up again, right? And the cost of food is rising, we know, and it's going to rise further as we have challenges with our ships coming through the Panama Canal, the ships that come from a distance. Okay, we saw how prices rose after COVID, and price of essential things like food, right, rose after COVID because of the fact that there was a demand for transport.
Yeah, and that's it.
When the
supply
supply is low and the demand is high, the cost goes up.
Yeah.
So let's be very cautious. Let's be very, very cautious that we don't consume on the things we don't need, so that we don't have stresses and we don't get depressed, because depression is very related to fulfillment of what your desires are for most people. Mm-hmm. All right, so make Christmas happy, make Christmas enjoyable, make Christmas family and people. And remember, sometimes you feel a lot better giving than receiving.
Yeah,
because they're not a lot of us who work and stuff. There aren't a lot of things that we absolutely need. So we have to try and create some equity by making other people live a little better than they've done. That Christmas is brighter. Remember to share all the big pot of rice and peas you cook that can't eat and can't fit in the fridge. We actually need to share. Make sure that everybody gets some. And since you know your rice and peas is the best, I could take a bit now.
Yeah, you mentioned scarcity, and food prices, Doc. And there are so many reasons why that can happen. Sometimes when something happens immediately, the focus is there. But in terms of food, look what is happening now. You can hardly find sorrel, you can hardly find green peas, vegetables. It's another issue, and all of that is happening because of the impact of climate change, the heat waves we experienced a couple of months ago.
In the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And be mindful. I left here during the news, and I just had rushed up to the supermarket briefly to get something, and I saw a pack of tomatoes. There were 3 tomatoes in the pack, and the cost was a little over $10. This is serious, a little over $10.
I just hope it's not 3 cherry tomatoes.
No, it wasn't cherry, but 3 tomatoes.
Nor was it cherry.
No, and this is serious, folks. We need to pay attention to what is happening around us. Look what happened earlier today. With all these floods and this low pressure system, we should not just take things lightly. We have to pay attention, and understand what is happening, so we know how to, deal with the situations. In climate change language, you hear about adaptation and mitigation. We have to learn how to deal with these things. I saw there was one image in the news tonight where the pillars of someone's house was a little exposed because of erosion from the flooding. So folks, there are a lot of things we need to pay attention to. You see that, and you need to probably consider your house, where you live. Can it be seriously impacted in any way, based on what is happening? So it's important, and all of these things, when they happen, maybe not directly, but they could have some kind of effect on our health, and Doc would be able to explain these things a lot better than I can, So, I just wanted to add in that, as it relates to food safety and food security, there are a lot of factors. The issue with the Panama Canal that you mentioned, is as a result of climate change. Not enough rain, and so the water levels are so low that the ships cannot come through. So the signs are before us. Sometimes we ask for signs when the signs are right before us. We're just not paying attention, and we need to do that. So 2023, and times went on, and I'm sure, as I said earlier, we can reflect on some of the good things, and there were also the challenges that we can reflect on, how things were and things that happened that maybe affected us maybe negatively. What have we learned from it? Have we learned so much so that we are able to deal with similar situations better or differently? These things are important. Doc, we are at Christmas, and you can see all the activities. Today or tonight in the news, we saw the vendors being relocated because of the influx of traffic. So activities have heightened. So there are things happening, and so we need to pay attention.
So I think, first of all, we have to understand a couple of things. One, we're all in this together. There's no person who has his own little microcosm, his own little space where everything happens. So whether you want to shop in the shop next door, Mr. John, Miss Mary shop next door, or you want to shop down in the big places in the south, where the more exquisite places are, whether you want to buy some cornmeal and Lutheran cornmeal and some jacks, or you want to have quail's eggs for breakfast and turkey and cranberry sauce and all the exotic things that people eat, right? We're all in this together, and I think climate change is an equalizer because everybody can be affected similarly. We've been told, for example, that we've seen new diseases or emerging diseases. 10 years ago, was 10 years, we had chikungunya. Yeah. 2014, we had chikungunya. Never seen it before. When I was a little child, wasn't it a mosquito? No.
Aedes aegypti.
Aedes aegypti was in a book. I tell you guys, it was something we read about. The world has become very small. You can go anywhere you want in a day and get there in 24, 36 hours, the furthest point from your house. But we have Aedes aegypti. And Aedes aegypti mosquito carries chikungunya. It carries Zika. It carries dengue, all of which are dangerous diseases. Mm-hmm. Climate change is going to make us have more water, more flooding, more dampness, and better conditions for breeding of these mosquitoes, unless we take into consideration what are the precautions that are needed to ensure that we can control these diseases. Remember that we're not making any more money. It's been hard financially. Our health system has so much other, especially like chronic diseases, to deal with. So it means that the money is spread thin. We don't have any health insurance. I was talking to someone this evening. We don't have health insurance, a national health insurance that take care of most things. And the people who most need it are most vulnerable to every disease. So for example, if you have diabetes and cancer and those chronic illnesses, you have greater risk for being sicker. If you contract Zika and dengue and even the common cold, you can get ill. We looked at COVID, which is not gone away, right? Thank goodness we did stay away from each other. Christmas puts us at risk because we up in everybody's face. We eating from one another, who come from foreign, who does everything, who comes from the country, people who've been to another party last night, the people that we don't know, right? And young people tend to carry COVID not covertly, but overtly. Mm-hmm. They tend, not overtly, but COVID, so they might have COVID and you don't know. and come to the house and grandma and grandpa die because they're in their home and they don't have the same kind of resilience, the same kind of resistance. So we're all in it together. So therefore, we all have responsibilities. We all have responsibilities to make sure that we don't mingle too much and up in each other's face, that we still keep our distance from our friends. We all have a responsibility to know that when we go to grandma's house, if she's not being well, or auntie's house, or even to our parents' house, that we can still wear masks, like we spoke about in the beginning. It's not going to kill us, and it's not going to kill anybody else. It probably will kill if we don't wear it, right? We all in this to make sure that if the vaccine works, the vaccine works. Go get your vaccine, right? We all in this to make sure that we're not drunk driving, not consuming too much alcohol. Listen, I tell everybody every day, you cannot empty the vat at Wester Hall. This is impossible. The more you drink, the more they're going to make. So take your time and savor. Take your time, have 1 drink, 2 drinks. If you get to 4 drinks, you already pass. And you do your breathalyzer is done, you already probably pass the legal limit for driving. Okay? After that point, you cannot make good decisions. Your reflexes have dropped. You probably can't see, probably too confused to be on the road. Yet we take vehicles that can kill. Weapons of destruction. A vehicle becomes a weapon of destruction. And we either kill ourselves, or we kill other people, or we maim and damage property and other people. So we have to be very careful. But that is all of us. Why would I let my friend drink if she's driving or he is driving? If he's the one that's going to be driving, okay? I don't see at night, so I don't drive in the night. It's as simple as that. I'm not going anywhere that I can't get there, and the person who's driving has not to be not to consume any alcohol. You can't drink and drive me, sorry. And we have to come to that point where each of us recognizes that we are each other's keeper in this. You're going out to party, who is the driver? You can't drink tonight. You can drink tomorrow night, I will drive. Let us kind of love each other, because all of us within this little space, we can't get out, but we have to support each other. What are you going to have at party? Are we going to indulge in a lot of sweets, a lot of sugar? Are we going to take our medications? Because a lot of people cease to take their medications for their diabetes and for their hypertension and whatever other chronic illnesses, whether it's your thyroid problems, whether you have other endocrine problems, whatever it is. People cease to take their medications because they want to drink. Mm-hmm. Okay? The bottom line is that it's just not good for everybody. Not everybody should have access to alcohol, because not everybody can deal with it. Speaking about alcohol, I want to talk about us preventing our children, because there are people who become alcoholics because they're genetically wired like that. Mm-hmm. Please don't give your children Christmas cake with alcohol, too young, and sour with alcohol. That's when we introduce, and that's probably part of the reason that we're having, not yet scientifically proven, but we know that we do consume a lot of sweet meats at Christmas that have alcohol. There's no need to offer your 8-year-old some beer or a glass of wine. No, absolutely no need. Right? We still have a law that says we cannot give alcohol to people under 18
Under 18,
years.
that's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So you have to reach your 18th birthday before you can have a sip of alcohol, and then by that time you really want it, right? So let us also remove our responsibility. Let us not leave our children alone and go to party with candle in the house. It's better that your children are waking at night and can't find you and they cry themselves back to sleep, but then there's no need to go to party if you don't have anybody to stay with your children. And I tell the young ladies, look, be nice to the lady next door, okay? She might just keep them for you. Okay, be nice to your neighbors. Live in a community that cares for where people care for one another. Do not leave your children at home. Do not leave your children at home, especially your girl children and even your boy children, and they don't have to risk for being sexually molested or even physically harassed. The children, the people who are more vulnerable, the older people with disabilities, people with learning disabilities especially, who can't really defend themselves and who can be easily bamboozled by deceiving persons. All right, let's make sure that we keep them in a safe space. A safe space that's guided by us who have the ability to keep them safe. All right? Let's make sure we can do that.
Indeed.
Christmas is a fabulous time. It's a time for family. Avoid the family. If you know you're going to go there and have conflict, don't go. All right? Save money, bread and butter. tomorrow is December 26th, you wouldn't even remember that you didn't eat all the food, right? Or go to somewhere else, because family conflicts do come up. We don't want anybody pulling knives and machetes and just creating a bad environment and bad experiences for everybody else. Our children really don't deserve to be experiencing those kind of negativities. So if you can even envisage that you're going to have challenges if you go to the family reunion, stay off. Let them talk about you behind you, but don't be there participating. That's stress you don't need.
No, this is very important, and I always believe that, we should be mindful of and always be aware of our environment, where we go, who we go with, what we're going and do. And sometimes all it takes is just a moment to maybe just sit for a moment and just think mindful. About it. Yeah.
Where am I? What is happening in my life now? What do I accept? What do I reject? What do I need to stay away from? Where do I need to involve myself? How do I contribute? Is it positive or negative? How is this going to work out for me? Be mindful. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Am I going there? Should I go there? Yes or no? Nah, not going.
No, it's important. Right? It's definitely important, And I noticed someone on our Facebook page, Arthur Langine, is saying that all of those advice should be all year round, not just when Christmas and Carnival is in the air. I'm getting sick of all you. Clearly, Mr. Langine has probably listened to this program for the first time. So, Mr. Langine, just in case you weren't aware, these are things
Mr. Langine could be anything by audio, okay?
Yeah, we've been doing that practically every Tuesday, advising people to be mindful of what they're doing. So, we're happy that you're on tonight, and we definitely would like to see you on every Tuesday night going forward, So thank you for joining us. We're very happy to have you on the program this evening, and of course we welcome your advice and contribution as well, because as Doc said a while ago, this is not a one person or a two person thing. It's everybody. We're all in this together. Doc, that's the word. Yeah, we're all in this together. So we all have a role to play. And if more of us would keep ponging these things and saying these things, I do believe it will make a difference. I do believe that. But
so there's some people I want to talk about this before we step out. So there are people who really need to be paid attention to, and what I put as, talk about vulnerable people. And I want to say probably marginalized, who are put on the side, people who live alone, people who have recently lost their spouses, people who have become dispossessed, whose quality of life has changed, people who are ill, who come back, who are facing severe illness, probably terminal illness, and may or may not have family for support. People who are older and may barely be able to give care to themselves, and people who are generally just don't have it. And people may have, acquired more people to take care of. My sister died, she has 6 children, I have 6. But the children don't have nobody to go with, and I'm not going to let my niece and my nephew be out in the streets. People who don't have, people who've just come out of jail. There are a lot of people who are marginal, who are out on the periphery, and the rest of us who can get along and go shopping and go to friends' house to eat and buy a nice outfit and go to church and do all the rest. Sometimes we tend to forget that there are other people that we can actually help. So think about the people in your neighborhood, the person who probably can't get up and cook a meal, or not going to have as nice a meal as you have. Send a plate over. Go visit Christmas morning. Bring a cup of cocoa and a bread and ham. Whatever you're having, share. Because we sometimes we forget that people need us. And the more you have is the more we are required to share. The more we have is the more required to share. And then it wouldn't be so much of wastage, it would be caring for the whole community. Or again, all we are one. And we have to really make sure that everybody is at a point where they can see above the wall. So if you're tall enough, you can stand on the ground. If you're not so tall, you stand on a bucket. If you're really short, you need 2 benches to stand upon, but all of us can see over the wall. And it may mean that somebody's going to have to make a little sacrifice or give up something so that we can all have a good Christmas. That's what Christmas means, basically. Everybody being happy and understanding and feeling a sense of hope and a sense of hopefulness. But in the context that...
Yeah, and that should not... That should not, just start and end at Christmas. That kind of hope that we can share and probably instill in others. It should be continuous so that it helps, individuals, to continue to fight and to push and to be better. And sometimes it's amazing how one person or one little bit of influence can go very, very, very far. Because if you influence one person, that one person can influence another person, and it continues. It's like a kind of domino effect, So if we can, put that good influence out there and give someone the hope and teach someone how to share, or the importance of sharing, it's amazing the difference that can be made.
So one of the things that happened this year, and much to the chagrin of almost our entire population, all our population, was the rise in severe violent crime and violent crimes. And we've seen a lot of imported or vicarious crimes that really should have never happened in Grenada, but it happened here anyway because the victims of the crime came from somewhere else and died here, or somebody from outside came and killed somebody here, whatever it is. It's been very hard. It's been very, very hard on the population, and a lot of people I speak with tell you how difficult it is for them to cope with it. So I want us to get accustomed to the point to understand that there's nothing wrong with seeking some psychological support. Even me talking to your friend, say exactly how this is affecting you, especially if you live in a community where there has been appearance, I wouldn't say upsurge, but appearance for the most part of that level of crime. Because we don't need to be living like this. There's no need to keep the information in your pocket, right? Because we're gonna be all responsible for obliterating whatever negativity appears in our country. Chop off the neck, okay? If you feel you have not coped with the crime, if you have been a victim of a crime, if nobody knows, you have to find some support, some emotional, some psychological support. Because when you face stress, that kind of negative emotional experience, it compromises your immune system. And the things that you take for granted, like a common cold, right? People have seen cancers develop as a result of constant stress. Or people who have had cancer and are in remission get back ill because the immune system just disappears. That defense that keeps you well or makes you get away from that which would harm you physically because it's caused by some invasive organism. With stress, your body does not have the capacity to recognize and manage. Okay? That kind of stress, and it can lead to people's demise. It can lead to people's poor productivity. It can lead to just people being sick. It can lead to people being too sick emotionally to be as productive as they are capable under normal circumstances. And also, those of us who recognize, one of the things that we tend to think that men do not experience stress and depression, and they do. And if you see John, who used to go home and sit down and watch TV the night, come to the rum bar every night, you kind of say, hey, what's going on, man? Right? You see people acting differently. Their productivity at work stop. They eat, they sleep more. They come to work very tired because they haven't slept all night. They having challenges. What is it? How may I help you? And whatever somebody should use, none of everybody else's business. We chat too much sometimes. Talk other people's business. It is a privilege for us to know when somebody needs help. And you may not be able to help, but you may be able to source.
Yes.
Find a source of
Yes, very, very, very important.
People who come because they know me, right? Or might be the physician who say, I need you to help somebody. What can I do for Mary, John, Tom, whoever it is, who's experiencing that That is what we are called to do. We are called to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. I don't mean keeper in a Grenadian way. Okay, let's get real. We're called to take care of each other and make sure that people can surpass the stress. And if you identify it, especially where people become isolated, it is your duty, your human duty. And if you don't think you can make it, ask somebody else to figure out what's going on with Mary. Because Mary probably have a best friend who does not recognize it because she doesn't live nearby. Or her husband doesn't understand, right? And he may not be the source of the challenge, but it may be something else. So we have to look out for each other in that emotional realm, because we've had a lot of challenge. I tell you, I've spoken to people during the time when the crime rose, and people were having a lot of problems coping. They were having a lot of problems coping. Once the security feels that kind of way, you get problems.
Yeah,
I want to raise another point in relation to that security thing. So we know that the origin of interpersonal crime has to do with constricting space. So when people move from rural areas where they have an acre land around their house and they could walk up and down the road and they don't see anybody if they don't want to see them, or they walk a mile, which is exercise, and to go visit their neighbors, right? And then they move to the city and you live in a little room up in a little shack. There's no light, there's no river, there's no mango tree, there's no cocoa tree, there's no golden apple tree, right? And you feel that you become dispossessed. But this guy have this dog that barks in your yard, or he comes in late and he rolls his bike when he gets in, or whatever it is. You guys share a step and he feels that you shouldn't walk on a step with your boots when you come from work, and you feel he's tush and because he live in a city. The bottom line is that people, as the space gets smaller, and it's going to get smaller, because if we have natural disasters, people are going to end up living in spaces that are very small. We're going to have to share spaces and amenities. We have to get accustomed now to be able to be mindful and to be able to cope with that kind of constricting space that makes us aggravated by the presence of other people who want to think is our space. Our space is going to get smaller and smaller if we have challenges in the, like, I'm sure we had a lot of rain up in the country. I've seen some waterways appear in Moya. I don't know where they come from, right? I've seen school wall breakdown. I've seen stuff happen. It means that people who normally occupy those places have to move elsewhere, and it's inconvenient. So let's learn to tolerate and let's learn to support.
Yes, indeed. So, Doc, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, of course, we'll open the telephone line and invite our listeners to call with any questions or contribution they would like to make to the program. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Children and nation depend on vaccination for immunization. Childhood vaccination is national priority. It is their protection from disease and sicknesses. Let's all be VIPs and safeguard our beautiful Grenada. I am DJ Blackstorm and I am a VIP health champion. Be a VIP like me.
Let's all be VIP champions.
A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs. Be a VIP Childhood Vaccination and Immunization Campaign in collaboration with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization.
Blast Gaming is where dreams come true and jackpots are won. Dive into a world of delightful experiences and daring action. From the moment you step through the doors, have the time of your life, feel the energy, soak in the excitement, and let the good times roll. Blast is more than just a place to play. It's where friends socialize, cocktails flow, and a safe space for those who dream big and dare to have fun while doing it. Blast Gaming. Know your limit, play within it. You must be 18 and over.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Doctor and Call, the final live program for 2023, and we're doing a little bit of reflection, of course, and as always, sharing with you information that can help you to improve your health situation. Our telephone line is also open. The number is 435-2041, so you can give us a call if you, of course, have any questions that you would like to ask, or if you would like to contribute in any way, we'll be more than happy to engage you. So the number again, 435-2041. Now we have a caller online, so let's go to the telephone. Doctor and Call, good evening. Hello.
Good night, sir.
Yes, good evening, caller. How are you?
Oh, good evening, whatever you want to say, yeah. Yes. Well, my name is Arthur Langine, and I'm from Marigot, but I'm calling from... Yeah. Good night, sir.
Yes, good evening, caller. How are you?
Yeah.
Good evening, whatever you want to say.
What up, here?
My name is Arthur Langine, and I'm from Marigot, but I'm calling from... Yeah. Good night, sir. Yes.
Okay, so caller, what you need to do is to turn your volume down and listen on the telephone.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry about that. I got confused here.
Not a problem.
Like I was saying, my name is Arthur Langine, and I'm from Marigot, St. John's. And well, maybe you are correct when you said maybe it's first time I'm listening this particular program, but I do listen to GBN Bermuda mornings. So if ever you think I said something wrong or what, or so, I'm sorry about that.
Not at all.
But it is a fact, because I've been listening to all different programs, and it seems like with the police and all kind of thing, and it seems like it's only when Christmas they're giving all kind of advice how to keep your things safe, and them things happen all year round. You see? But anyway. And about all the excuses the doctor making for people, I think you have to let it people, because first of all, mental illness in Grenada seems to be a curse to many people, because even Mistress whatever Delma Thomas or what, people throw the words to her and all kind of thing, all kind of name they call her, which is very bad. But anyway, I'm going to go back and listen to your program, but I will be calling in on Fridays. Tuesdays, you said your program is?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
From what time?
8:30. 8:30 p.m. Mm-hmm.
Oh, 8:30. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All the best.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Doc, do you have a question to ask me, Doctor?
No, I want to tell you thanks for joining. And
yes, indeed.
Sometimes it's good when you join at a point where it seems like, what are people talking about? So I hope this is a point of intrigue for you, and I hope that not only and we welcome your comment as long as it's done in a respectful way. We're good with that. We're not upset with you. The thing is, remember that since it's your first time, we want to remind you that whatever you learn here, we ask people to inject into their lifestyle and to teach friends. So I wish you a very Merry Christmas in Marigot. My family comes from Marigot, and
I'm a Langine, actually.
Merry Christmas. And
yes, thank you. And well, one of the problem in Grenada is that most of the commercials on radio and on TV is about rum drinking. Then you go right in La Bay, by the bay there. All Liquor Creek and Corner, they're selling rum and they're illegal. You see?
Yeah, but those are things that we have to.
So the government is to be blamed.
No, the government is not to be blamed. There's still
yes, they have to have more people doing either inspecting these places or whatever.
Yeah, but still.
And that's been going on for years. I'm not blaming no particular government. Listen, I was in Grenada in 14. And I asked a guy to take a picture of me with my own camera. He cost me a drink. I went in conference. When I come back, I met him. He forgot me. I asked him again. He asked me for another drink. And I said to him, look, I gave you a drink about an hour or two ago. He forgot. But anyway, I don't want to take up more of the time. But I will be listening in as time goes by. Doc, and your name is Godwin, sir? What's your name, sir?
Yes, sir. Godfrey. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and thank you very much. I hope my voice not too husky and coarse, something like that, but as the kind of person I am. All right? I'm not angry about that. My voice is big and coarse. Thank you.
We're very happy to have you. All the best. Yes, thank you.
Yes, pleasant night and happy holiday.
You
Bye
too,
now.
my friend. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, indeed. No, we welcome.
Question?
I beg you.
You had a question on WhatsApp?
No. Yeah. So the number 435-2041, folks. You can give us a call. Any questions you have, we'll be more than happy to, share with you whatever information we can. So you give us a call, 435-2041. Now, Doc, I want us to, and this is something we've spoken about time and time again, and we will continue to speak about it because it's, very, very important. The whole issue of diabetes and hypertension. At Christmas time, these two conditions, in my opinion, are two that we have to be very, very mindful of because of the nature of the season and what is involved. A lot of eating, a lot of drinking, of course, alcohol, sweet, salt, all of these things. A lot of that, we go in excess, and so it's important that we pay attention. So, Doc, I just want you to talk a little bit about that and the importance. Yes, we can enjoy Christmas, we can enjoy a piece of ham, we can enjoy the cake, but it has to be done in a particular way.
And I agree. Look, if we moderate in all things and we're able to understand how we to eat and drink and entertain ourselves, I think for the most part we'd all be well. And I have a good story because I have a friend and patient whom I'd been struggling with for the last 2 years in relation to controlling his diabetes and maintaining his blood pressure, taking control of his blood pressure. And saw him, and he said, come smiling and put up his notes on my face. And I was very happy because it wasn't a lot of change. In the same way, for other people, it isn't a lot of change in a negative direction for you to fall off the ship. So you might just decide, I ain't taking no medication, I want to have to drink, or I decide this is Christmas and I want to eat my cake, I want to eat my ham, I want to eat my potato, my macaroni cheese, I want to eat my rice and peas, whatever it is, I want to eat my pork, I want to do this, and say, don't worry, and I'm not exercising because this is time to enjoy it. Look, it's only a day. The morning after Christmas is Boxing Day. Okay, guys, Christmas done for another 365 or 66 days. Be moderate in everything you do because a lot of people die, literally die. We see it happen after Carnival, and we see it happen after Christmas. People get admitted to hospitals because they have strokes, they have heart attacks, and they die. Or the sugar gets so out of control that they go into coma. Especially people with type 2 diabetes can go into coma and die. We don't have a big hospital. We have one general hospital and 2 small community hospitals that cannot manage, right, the quantity of persons who need intense care, who need to be in hospital. And then, of course, we don't have a lot of staff. The bottom line is that the control of this is in your hands. making a decision to not drink excessively. Yes, you can have one drink. When you have a drink, you have to take out the rest of the carbohydrate because alcohol is sugar. So if you're diabetic and you decide to have a drink, you have to take away the rice and peas and the macaroni and cheese and the yam and the banana and the bread and all the stuff and the cake and the cake and the cake and the cake. And of course the alcohol, right? The other rest of alcohol you might be tempted to drink. So if you're having one drink, that's okay. All right, one drink. But you have to take out other things that have sugar and starches because you decompensate and putting yourself off balance. We beg you, please, because getting back on the bandwagon is not easy. It takes a lot of effort, okay? Make a conscious effort to stay well. Because I was telling Godfrey, what we need to talk about tonight with people is what's happening to me in December 2024. Am I still around? Is my diabetes under control? Or am I in renal failure? Is my blood pressure under control? Or have I had a stroke? Or have I lost my leg because I really didn't control my sugar? How's my vision? How's my kidneys? Am I on dialysis? Right? Did I have a heart attack? Okay? Have I had to stop working because my vision is gone, my kidneys are gone, everything, because I haven't taken care of myself? Those are the things I want us to consider. Where will I be in December 2023? Will I be in charge of myself? Will I be smiling like my patient was when I saw him recently and said, look at me. And he said, oh, this is all I have to do. Right? I can do this. And trust me, you can. You can control your blood pressure. You can control your diabetes. There's some simple rules, and sometimes it gives up. Like this, how you can't drive fast through River Road because they have 5. If you drive through River Road from Tempe, they have 1, 2, and 5, 7, and 2, 9 speed bumps in a mile of road. Okay, you have to slow down. You have to go in a way that you can feel safe, and then your car shock's not broken, and you don't have flat tires, and your children don't have motion sickness in the back of the car because there's so much shaking up and down, etc., etc., etc. Or being prone to accidents because a lot of those big trucks come through River Road, or the postmen who stop in the middle of the road on River Road. I'm just saying, you can do this with a little bit of discipline, with a little bit of not being led by people who don't have the same challenges as you. And even if you don't know that you have diabetes and hypertension, you actually have a responsibility to behave tolerantly. Don't feel, Chris, everybody go put on weight. Why? Because I have to put on weight, drink 6 malt, 6 beer, and then a few glasses, our moonshine rum, and still eat up a calabash full of food. That's unnecessary. That's not good for you. It's not good for you emotionally. It's not good for you for the way people look at you. And at the end of the day, you're not as happy as you can be because you're drunk and you fall down. You miss all the party and all the dance and all the jokes that you hear. I'm serious.
No. This is Doc. I am smiling because I'm thinking here we making reference to, or we advising folks who are diabetic and probably hypertensive to be mindful. But I just want to say that even if you're not, even if when you check your blood pressure levels, you get 120/80, or maybe 120/75, and if you check your blood sugar and it's under 90 or it's 70 something or whatever, hello, that is not a license to, as Doc would say, to try to empty the rum factory. Or the bakery, or the meat stall, because even if you're not, and you make that choice, you can become diabetic, and you can become hypertensive.
That can be where it manifests itself.
Yes.
Right? And the truth is, you may be diabetic or hypertensive and don't know.
Well, there we go.
And that could be a tipping point where you fall off the balance. So, look, that's what, again, I want to say, enjoy Christmas, but enjoy Christmas conscientiously and in moderation. Because you can eat a little piece of cake today, and you can have a nice little piece tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Well, you know, the beautiful thing is, Doc, you can, you know, cut a nice slice or maybe a nice piece of ham, and you enjoy it, a small piece, and then you sit down with high anticipation of the next piece tomorrow. You know, you can't wait for tomorrow to come to have your next little piece. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's I always think about how people feel within their core and how people appreciate themselves as good beings. And I think it's very unfortunate that some of us allow ourselves to become the bane of everybody, of our own existence, that we become the laughing stock, and people can say nasty things about us. How you get so drunk and you fall down and you vomit and we don't want that to happen. We want to be healthy and holy, and holy as in one piece, right? Whole. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to ask people to think about it. If you want to write it, which might be a better reminder. Where am I, all things being equal? Where would I be in December 2024? So I'm going to ask you to make your resolution for how my Christmas is going to be next year, because you're going to start with having a good Christmas this year. You're going to decide, hey, there's enough rum for me to drink, or not. If I don't want to drink, I don't have to drink. Right? I remember my friends teasing me because I don't really drink, and I meet a set of friends who drank every day. Just come to medical school. They're older than me. I live in another country, but they very entertaining. You know, they adopt you. And I would go to them in the evening, and I would drink. Remember, they had a little thing like this called apple cider from Cannings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I'll have one apple cider. What's wrong with you? I don't drink. Have some water. I'm hanging with you guys. I'm enjoying the company. I don't need to drink to don't remember what happened, okay?
Right.
And I remember the guy who used to tease me the most. We are out of this place. Nice open place, right? Like we went up here 57. Open and nice by the sea, really. And when the bartender came, the waiter came to take my order, I asked for an apple cider, and he's like, and the guy said, yeah, put it in a nipple bottle. My friend, put it in a baby bottle. And I was unyielding. Mm-hmm. And you know what he says? You don't even move. And I said, no, because I'm not having alcohol. Mm-hmm. And the following week we went back. We sit down, and the waiter came again and was flabbergasted that everybody drinking rum and coke, whiskey on the rocks, whatever is they drinking, okay? And I said, and I'll have X, because I'm making my order going last, okay? Mm-hmm. And the guy said, but why? And you know what my friend said? The lady said she wants an apple cider.
Right.
Please serve her an apple cider. Thank you. That was the end of the teasing. Uh-huh. So don't be afraid to not succumb to the peer pressure. You don't have to drink if you don't want to drink.
Oh, definitely not.
You know, you don't have to do the things you don't want to. I'm also concerned about the fact that our adolescents on the road are going to be using a lot of vapors, inhaling nicotine, and parents don't know, because it smells like bubble gum, and it smells like watermelon, and it smells like whatever smells nice. Parents, watch out. That's a gateway to smoking tobacco, because it has nicotine, which is a very addictive substance. Yep. So you find your child, you know, quite happy and easy, and you have a little thing that looks like a little pipe, a little whistle, or it looks like a little a flash drive or stuff. Your child is actually using nicotine, which will become illegal very soon. Okay? It will become illegal, right? Because it is actually a gateway drug. Plus, nicotine makes you develop hypertension and diabetes and cancers. Mm-hmm. Right? We can't allow it to become out of control. So parents, keep your eyes open, because they're out on the streets, and I've seen them sharing the vapors, right? Because they inhale this nicotine, which makes them feel a little high for a little while, but it's also kind of cool until a little smoke comes up, because this thing warms up, and you get your fit of nicotine. So I'm going to ask parents to be very, very mindful of of the children's behaviors on the street, the adolescents, the high school, and the college people do it, but the high school kids, it's really, we can't stop 18-year-olds from smoking, but we need to prevent our children under 18 from using anything that is that noxious, whether it's alcohol or those nicotinic substances. Because you're not going to see them smoking tobacco, you know.
And you know, Doc, it's not just parents, but adults. I mean, look, you if you see children doing things that you know are not in their best interests, I mean, I think adults have an obligation. You know, say something, or if you
want you to talk to their children, and you think you can talk to them. I think you do have an obligation to inform them. You do have an obligation to inform them.
But in cases like that, I'm sure you can get the police involved. It's in the best interest.
Currently, there's no law about the use of vapors, but it will come into law very soon, and then you can arrest parents if you have under minors who are consuming. Because half of it, they don't work nowhere. How you buy it? They get money from to buy vape. So I wanted to be very careful, because what we're going to have is a nation of smokers, and tobacco and nicotine in particular hardens the arteries, so you're going to have high blood pressure. Hardening the arteries is going to affect your diabetes and make you lose limbs faster, and your eye, and make you develop cancers, and make you a lot of things go, and your hair drop off, and your teeth drop out, and your vision goes, and a lot of the stuff that has to do with hardening of your arteries. And of course, if it's tobacco, we have the added toxins and the carcinogenous substances that come with tobacco otherwise, right? So let's be very careful. And again, for the young people, you kind of need to lead each other, because some of the young people know the effects of tobacco and all the stuff. Yet it's just being popular. You don't need to be popular, trust me. The child who chooses not to be popular in the bad group, among bad people, usually is very respected and feared by other people. But adolescents don't know that. So when they bully you and they tell you stuff and they try to put you down, it's because people are really afraid of the fact that you live within the meat.
Doc, let's take a call. We have a caller on the line. Doctor and call, good evening.
Can I go?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, good evening, caller.
Good evening,
How are you doing? Yes.
And Doctor, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I must tell you how very pleased I am with your program on a Tuesday evening. I listen every night till it's over. And what I love to see is your white pair of teeth shining with laughter, as though God has given you a special gift of laughter. That is very pleasant.
Thank you.
And Godfrey, I think you are very industrious. I don't know if he's middle-aged or young man, but I can go old man. But bring back for me on a Thursday night, release it. Okay? That would help to complete my happiness. Doctor, the problem we have in Grenada, and maybe throughout the world, people are guided by the taste and the feelings, and they throw intelligence aside, especially when it comes to fetting. And especially among the youths nowadays, I'm so distressed. Doctor, on the 16th of October this year, I was 80 years old. When you talk about 71, I was still shame, you know. I say, maybe you want to tell me 9 years ago I should have been dead already. You understand?
Not at all. Remember the book said, if by strength you make full score, right? So you're well in line.
Right.
And as
you talk about blood pressure there, I just check mine. 129 upon 75.
You have baby
with a heartbeat of 64.
You have baby blood pressure? You have baby blood pressure?
Well, I don't indulge in those kind of fatty food.
Okay.
And I do 26 years now, I have not taken a drop of liquor, not even a beer. And nobody used to drink beer like me. every evening after school. I jump in my car when I'm on my way home. I'll stop somewhere and drink us half a dozen beer. One day I said to myself, Franklin, where does that bring you? Franklin, stop that. Mm-hmm. And don't you know I stopped it?
Very good.
The willpower of your mind is very critical. I'm sorry for lots of people who I see destroying themselves, and sometimes you tell them about it, they're trying to curse you. But I enjoy the program. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Happy Christmas, and may Happy New Year's to both of you and the rest of your listeners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. Same to you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yes,
right.
That collective, that strength that Godfrey mentions is about collective strength, because we look at how our populations move forward as far as age goes. So the populations whose lifespan is 45 because there's war. What do you think the life expectancy for people in Palestine is when all the young people die? So many of the young people die. So it depends on how we can do this collectively. And I think everybody, all of us, have a little responsibility to carry somebody with us on the good road. We don't think like the young people, neither do they think like us for the most part. And we have to be very careful not to try to control them, for want of a better word. Or we need to try to reason and help them to understand. They may not the first time or the second time. But also, we need to be exemplary, because we feel that we must tell people what to do. Do as I say, don't worry what I do. Okay? We need to be exemplary. We need to remind and you can start a conversation on other things that are commonalities. And by your own example, people will learn. I'm not saying that's not your do, caller. I'm saying we have to look at how we transmit information to the younger generation. We need them. We need them so they can put money into the social security system so we can have pension and NIS. They need to be other working. We don't need them sick or dying very young. We need them to have more children and to keep the population going. We need them that if they're healthy, we'll have a population who now dies at 80 and not at 70. Those are the things we want them to do. And we have to teach them examples. And we have to teach them how not to eat junk food by not preparing junk food, because that's what people tend to do, is convenience food. Very highly processed foods that put our children at risk for getting diabetes and hypertension, because it's full of fat, it's full of sugar, it's full of salt, and their poor bodies are not made to endure it like that. We feel that we mustn't eat. Or my child not eating no fig and salty sauce. I used to hide that in my carrier when I was going to school. No, there's nothing wrong. It's better eat fig and salty sauce than that red and white box. Okay, so we have to learn. We, the older generation of people, the more adult and responsible people, have to learn what our responsibilities are, what is good for us, and practice it within our homes.
Yes, indeed. Well, folks, we're getting close to wrap up time. For this evening, and again, I really want to implore upon you the importance of making good choices, and sometimes if you don't make the right choice, the chance of change may not come. If you heard about the 3 C's, changes, chances, choices, changes. I think I have it all over the place, Doc. It's choices. Help me out here, Doc. The truth is, choices. Changes and I forget the other one.
Another C.
Yeah, another C. But of course, if you don't make the choice, right? So the other one is chances and changes. So choices. Chances and changes. Yeah, make a choice and you will have a chance of changing your life. That's very, very important. All right, Mr. Marshall, he made a choice to take a chance on giving up the beer, and now he has blood pressure like a little baby. Excellent.
And it doesn't mean that everybody can do that simply, but if we can at least try.
Yes, of course. You know,
and we need
make the choice, take a chance. Yes.
We need to support the people who try.
Definitely.
Because it's not easy to get rid of an addiction. Unless somebody wants to go and make a sudden decision to stop a behavior, the most we should do is to support.
Give support, yes. Give support. So, folks, we want to thank you for staying with us throughout 2023. I want to first, thank our friends on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. The real stalwarts. People in North America, and all over, they're there with us, and they continue to support the program. They continue to contribute to the programs. We are very thankful, to have you there, and we look forward to coming back in 2024 to do more and to continue to share. So we thank you very much. Of course, our folks here, our viewers on GBN television and our listeners on K105 FM, of course, your family, you're part of the network, and we're very, very happy to have you. We thank you so very much, for all the support, for all the programs. Sometimes the criticisms, that really help us to make the changes that we need to make to provide you with better programming, So we're very happy for that. So don't think for once that when you criticize, we are upset. No. We take them on board, we look at them, and we see where we need to make the change. We may not be able to make all the changes because, of course, with everything, there are limitations. So even here at the network, we do have our limitations, but definitely, we look forward to hearing from you so that we can, apply the little changes so that we can provide you with better programming. That's why we're here. When we do program, it's not my program, a doc program, it is your program. Yes. We do it because we want each and every one of us to learn. I am sure when you call and you make comments and you send comments on our WhatsApp platform and our Facebook page and YouTube channel, there are things that Doc hear that she never heard before, just like me. So we all learn. We all learn, and that's very, very, very important. So as we approach Christmas, just a couple of days away, 6 days away, folks, we want to impress upon you the importance of being mindful, one, of your surroundings, what you eat, what you drink. Think about you. You have an obligation to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to feel good, to look good. Very important. You know what it is to walk down the street and when someone can look at you and say, man, he looks well or she looks well. That's a compliment. And that's because you are taking care of yourself. So continue to do that. And those of you who are not doing it, hey, there's room here for you. There's room on the train for you. Come on board. Let's start making the choices and take a chance on changing our life so we can enjoy Christmas. We can enjoy a piece of black cake. We can enjoy a piece of ham. We can enjoy a bit of punch of cream. But of course, remember, after that, life continues, and you want to be able to enjoy Christmas again. We have our 50th anniversary of independence coming up. It promises to be a big celebration. You want to be able to enjoy that too, So if you go and you try to overdo everything at Christmas time, you won't be able to be part of the 50th anniversary. So, we have to think about everything. We have to be mindful. We have to exercise good judgment at all times. And if we do, we're on the right path. Doc, your closing words.
So my closing words, I just wanted to take a quick walk through the life cycle and how we're healthy. Mothers preparing themselves to have children, not drinking, not smoking, all of this. I'm talking December 24, okay? I'm really down there. No smoking, no drinking, no partying excessively, being home with your children, teaching them discipline, fathers being there. Even if you're not married, give support. But let's do the marriage thing all over again. It has its merits. I'm talking about deep spiritual life in homes for balance. I don't care where you worship or who you worship. All I'm asking is that you have that deep spirituality among your family, because it really does tighten relationships in the family. I'm asking that you keep our children safe from abuse, sexual, physical, whatever, especially sexual. It carries too many scars for young women. I'm asking that we learn to respect and show our children love and keep balance and feed them well so that they can grow into healthy, mentally young people. I'm asking that we provide opportunities for our children for education and for vocation and for the other things they want to do. I'm asking that we make sure that there are no so-called gender roles where girls have to do some boys, that we give our children acculturation so they can be stable adults. I'm asking that we be tolerant. Recently there's been a lot of discussion about homosexuality and this and that. Guess what? There are a lot of, very few of us are very straightforward. Somebody might be not, we're not even talking about gay or whatever, but they drink a lot, or they don't take care of the kids. So all of us have our sins on the side. I want us to take care of each other with respect. Okay, people's choices are their choices, and what we're going to do, if we think we can get them to a point of good, that's okay. If we can't, we still work with them and love them and respect them nonetheless. Let us not divide Grenada into little packages, because then we become gree and nay and they and all this stuff. Let's be one country with all our shortcomings, heading towards one integrated country. What we call it? One country, one future, one something. Right, in the 50th anniversary, and that goes just beyond the broad of Grenada. It goes beyond how our communities, how we relate in our families. All of us must try to integrate, right? Make sure that we don't bully each other and disrespect each other. Make sure that we can share the things we have. Make sure that we understand well how we should live in relation to food and tobacco and alcohol and sex and getting our vaccines and that part of your physical well-being. Make sure that we access the care that is there. This is December. We're going to reflect on all of this in December. God give us a life, right? Make sure that they're supporting each other. Make sure that every time we learn something, whether we read it or not, make sure that we lose our phones a lot in the interest. Mine is not so sweet like everybody else, but make sure you use your phone for good purposes. All the information you could ever want in the world is on this. Go in there, Google it, ask somebody to find it for you, and read and empower yourself. And make sure that we do everything in moderation. Make sure that we don't find ourselves in an environment where we're cussing and we're stressful and all the rest. And if you're not coping, if you think that mentally or emotionally not doing well, trust one. Reach out to somebody. Reach out to me. Reach out to Godfrey. Somebody would listen to you. I promise you. Okay. It's hard financially, but cut your corners, and keep all the things that are not absolutely necessary. Figure out what it is. Learn to write a budget, because all of those things are going to keep you well. Right? It's not just, I have money, or this, I don't have food. No. We have to look at wellness in a bigger sense and figure out, Godfrey spoke about mindfulness a lot. Who am I? Where am I? What is expected of me? What can I handle? What can I not? When do I need help? Make sure we control our diseases very well. Okay, there's chronic disease self-management, there's your doctor, there's your nurse, there's your friends who are doing very well controlling. Sit and talk about this. Men, go to get your prostate. We don't want you guys dying from something that you can prevent. We should not die from things we can prevent. That's true. And that includes accidents. Okay? Do not send your children out on the road driving if them can't drive. Because they're 18 years old doesn't mean. Right? I've been driving I can't remember when, from as a teenager, and I still am very cautious on the road. People say I can't drive. I drive very well. I just don't drive stupidly. Okay? Be tolerant. Give a little, because there are people who are drinking on the road, but that's not what we should do. Let us in this year give thanks, and I want to thank especially the people who tell me that I need to mention them. All the people who listen to us every week, yes. All the people who grab me in the supermarket and say, "Hi, Dr. Nixon, I don't know who it is," and embarrass me. I'll say, "Doc," at cricket and all the rest. The truth is, I thank you guys every week, because it gives me purpose, right? my gift, I know what my gift is, and I choose to share it because I think I am responsible. If God gives me a gift, I'm responsible for sharing it for the wellness, for the betterment of mankind. I want you to do that too. Figure out what is your gift and make sure you use it in a very practical and a very honest way to make sure everybody's gonna best. This way we can be all better. Right? Let's forget the bad mind and the gas and who take your boyfriend all the food. Make that go on. Let's go into 2024 after 50 years of independence. We all remember, those of us who my age and over would remember what 1974, how much pain we had, how much loss, how many people's lives were interrupted. We didn't have school for months. We didn't have work for months. I never knew you could curry green pawpaw and eat it. That was meat. Okay, everybody gets slim and healthy because we went vegetarian. We eat what was in the ground and what was growing on the trees. But here we are today, 50 years later, with a lot of opportunities for education, opportunities for betterment, opportunities for better homes, water. I learned this week that every household in Grenada has water borne to the house. That's a big achievement. Because there are places in America, big America, where people don't have pipe-borne water or indoor plumbing. Okay, we've come a long way. We have a long way to go, but we're going to go together. But everybody's going to put themselves at the center of all of we being one. I wish you a Merry Christmas, merry, healthy, happy, holy Christmas. Looking out for somebody else. Looking out for someone, you don't have to eat all the food. Look out for your neighbor. Look out for whoever you think. You want to go out and feed the people on the street. Get them new clothes. Get them a wash. Whatever you think can make you feel better. And I ask you to remember that everything you learn must be included in your family. So yes. God bless you. And we're going to see you in January, and hopefully we see you December 2024. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for being with us on the nights, even on the nights when me and Godfrey don't feel like being here. And it happens, but guess what? You have a purpose,
yes, of course.
Right? And then Godfrey, I remind to go and meet his. I figure out how much larger blessing meet on the road in the night. But the truth is, we thank you for making us come back and deliver what you deserve, because I think every Grenadian deserves to have a great life.
Yes, God indeed. Doc, thank you so very much. I've said thank you to all the folks out there, but of course you've been here, and I'm certain that there are lots of other things you can find yourself involved in on a Tuesday evening, but you've chosen to be here on the program with me to share with our people, and I'm really, really, really grateful and thankful for that. And folks, I just want you to know that Doc comes here every Tuesday, and it's done at her own free will. There's no pay. And I feel I have to mention that because it is significant. It is significant, so you can understand how much that means to us, when Doc can be here with us every Tuesday evening, and not just on Doctrine Call, but when I call her and I said, Doc, I need you to be on the climate change program to speak on public health. Those of you, the last program we had last week in our climate change series, she was there with us. So she was here last Tuesday and she was back on Wednesday. And that's the kind of sacrifice that some of us make, and how we contribute to our country and to our people. So don't take this lightly. No, it is important. So again, we thank you, and I urge you to take care of yourselves. Do not overdo it. Do not do anything. And there's Doc mentioned something earlier that I think is very important. There are a lot of opportunities out there to develop yourselves, especially as it relates to education. The internet is available. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of courses, free courses where you can learn. The World Health Organization, they offer free courses. The United Nations, they offer free courses. And these courses are certified. So there are a lot of opportunities that we can take advantage of. Sometimes rather than just idling around or just, you can get yourself involved. And let me tell you something, folks. People who have active brains, active minds, they age very well. The psychologists, they've done the work, and it has been proven that when you have an active brain, an active mind, you age well. You hear the people saying, boy, she ain't getting old at all. Don't think that is just by chance. These are people who have active minds and active brains. They read, they keep their minds involved in all different things, so they have active minds. Do it. And by doing that, we're helping ourselves to live longer, to be stronger. I mean, there's so much. We can go on talking, but it's our last program. We have to shut up and allow you to go and finish doing your little housework. So again, thank you very much, folks, for staying with us through 2023. I'll be off on vacation on a Friday. Friday is my last day. I'll be going off on vacation. I'll be back around the 15th of January. And yes, I will give consideration to bringing back the Release It program. So, we can look forward to that. And of course, every year we do come with new initiatives as it relates to our programming, so you can look forward to some new initiatives. So thank you once again. All the best. This Friday we have our final We Culture program for the year, so be sure to join us for that. Thank you again, Doc. Thank you so very much. Do have a good night, everyone, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. All the best.
And Happy New Year.
Yes, indeed. Doctor and Call was brought to you with the kind compliments of Hills and Valley Pharmacy and the Spice Isle